As I've reflected on the death this week, the question keeps coming to my mind. What do we do with the killers? No, in our heads and our hearts, and in concrete ways too. What do we do with the killers, the murderers of Jesus? What do we do with any killers? Jesus offers a prayer from the cross. He says, Father, forgive them. But he doesn't leave it there. He continues, for they do not know what they're doing. And it's a really significant theological thing that Jesus doesn't go down swinging. Me, I'd go down swinging. I was thinking about this, some years ago I was a little boy on the playground. Anybody, you remember being a little boy or a little girl on the playground? I'm not sure, I'll confess to you, I'm not sure what little girls do. You've got maybe you could tell me later. But little boys on the playground, when we get into it with our little boy peers, we sometimes shout at each other in anger. And what we shout is this: I'm going to tell my daddy on you. And we mean it. Huh? No, we're hurt. And we're feeling powerless. And so we say, I'm going to tell my daddy on you. And we have this, imagining that our dad's going to come beat somebody up for us, And it's real. So Jesus could have done the same, right? Jesus could have done the same. I'm going to tell my daddy on you. That's an option. But it's a really significant theological thing that he doesn't. Jesus dies in complete humility. Humiliation. And any resentment that Jesus might have harbored dies in his prayer that God forgive his murderers. And like I say, he doubles down on it. Jesus even speaks up for his killers like a character witness at a trial. He says, God, they don't know what they're doing. Mercy, 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 God. They don't know what the heck they're doing. Isn't that something? So y'all know Howard Thurman? Anybody know Howard Thurman? Howard Thurman's in heaven now, but Howard Thurman was a prophet, a preacher, a teacher, and a civil rights activist. Howard Thurman one time wrote that in order to love our enemies, we must somehow change their status as enemies. Does that make sense? If we're going to love our enemies, we got to change them from enemy into something else. We got to shift their status. So years ago, a man in a community in which I was living down in Georgia was driving everybody to their wits' end with his angry, offensive behavior. Do you know this man? Everybody's got one. Come on. I said, I've told this story before. It bears repeating. I said to a friend of mine, an older, wiser woman, I went to her. I said, Sally, what are we going to do with this guy? I mean, he can't walk down the street without offending somebody. We've got to get rid of him. That's a real mature approach, wasn't it? This was years ago. That's what I said to her. And in reply, she was silent. Most wise people are quiet when you ask them a question like that. She didn't answer me right off. Most wise people don't answer you right off when you ask them a question like that. And when she spoke, this is what she said. She said, Hendree, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop seeing him as our enemy. We're going to start seeing him as a man. And in fact, we're going to see him as a man from Alabama. She said, here's what we're going to do, Hendree. He's just a man from Alabama. Do you see what she did? I brought her an enemy. Huh? No, I brought her an enemy. And she took him. She embraced him and changed his status from aggravating, angry enemy to man. A son of God from somewhere, namely, in this case, Alabama. Huh? Then she said to me, Hendree, where are you from? And I said, you know where I'm from. And she said, answer my question. Where are you from? And I said, I'm from Georgia. She said, are you a man? I said, I'm trying to be. Not doing a very good job of it today. She said, so you're just a man from Georgia. You're a man from Georgia. He's a man from Alabama. Both of you sons of God from somewhere. You see what she did? I gave her an enemy. She gave me a son of God. Two sons of God. So how anyone ever got the idea that God is mad at us? How anyone ever got the idea that God is vengeful or punishing or marks us enemy and sends us to hell is beyond me. Because all of that, best I can tell, died on the cross when Jesus said, Father, forgive them. And don't just forgive them, but accept them, God, frailties and all. They're just your people. Huh? Just your children, bunch of men and women from Jerusalem and Galilee and Bethlehem and Bethany. Just your children, God, just sons and daughters, men and women, men from Moscow and Kyiv, men and women from Lexington and Louisville and New Orleans and Richmond and Winchester and Mount Sterling and Danville, Harrodsburg. Can y'all hear it? We can't love our enemies by willpower. Huh? We don't love our enemies only when their behavior changes. True love arrives when enemy status dies. I need to say that again, don't I? True love arrives when enemy status dies. So I got a question for you. It's a question that I'm taking with me into Holy Week, and I want to put it to you. If you like it, carry it with you for the next few days. Who are you struggling with? Don't say it out loud. Oh, Lord. We'll do marriage counseling after this. Who are you struggling with? Follow-up question. Do you know where they're from? Say the name of the place where they're from silently in your head. Now silently in your head say, he's just a man from, or she's just a woman from. Change their status from enemy to man or woman. Now let me ask you one more question. Do you hope, and I do with all my heart, do you hope people who are having a hard time with you say the same? I'm serious. I am hard. I, Hendree Harrison, support group, I, Hendree Harrison, am hard for some people to handle, y'all. Huh? And I hope at some point they say of me, oh, he's just a man. He's just a man from Roswell, Georgia. And of you too. The death of Jesus is the end of the power of sin and resentment. They still exist, trust me. But they've been stripped of their power to have the final say in who we are. Because the final say in who we are is this: we're all just sons and daughters of God from all manner of places. And if we're honest, Jesus is right. Much of the time, we don't know what we're doing. So his prayer is for us and can be our own. Father, forgive us. For we do not know what we are doing. Amen.